Alright, so we've done some cosmetic things for our website to make sure that anything we've broken by moving our jQuery files and whatnot, we've gone and repaired them. So let's go back and revisit we'll start with our desktop, and then now let's go through our suggestions here, and let's take a look at enable compression. Now I talked about this in a previous video. This is not something that you would most likely be able to do on your own. If you are, excellent. That means you're probably a web server guru of some sort. But basically what it says here is compressing resources with gzip can improve or reduce the number of bytes over your network. And what that means is that you should probably talk to your web host and have them enable compression for your files, your JS files and your CSS and image files. You can read more about it right here and probably get lost in a lot of the lingo, but definitely there is information provided by Google on what you can ask your web host to do. Now the great thing is your web host will be most likely familiar with what you're talking about, so when you ask them it should be no shock, as more and more people are starting to get on board with page speed and insights. So next thing is leverage browser caching. Same thing, it's going to be a web host specific type of thing, but setting an expiry date or a maximum age in the HTTP headers for static resources instructs the browser to load previously downloaded files. Once again, something you'll want to contact your web host about, or Google it and find out if you can do it yourself. I suggest contacting your host. Now, the last on the list of things that we can actually affect is we still get this eliminate render blocking JavaScript and CSS in above the fold content. So look, what we need to do at this point is actually expand this and start to go through these files one at a time to sort of figure out where they are. Everybody's website is going to be different. Hopefully you would understand where these files are being loaded from if it's your own website, but if not, if you're working with a template, you may not know. This is where you may need to contact customer support if you're working with one of our templates. We can give you some further details depending on the template you're working with. But to give you a general idea, what you would do is you take a look, sort of hover over. You just have to hover over the link or the whatever the information is being provided here for the the remove render blocking JavaScript. It's going to tell you exactly where the file is located, right, or being loaded from. And this particular file here is the Modernizer custom with a number, and it's being loaded from the full screen slider JS folder. Okay, and same with this one here, and same with this one here. Well, in many cases, especially with our templates, we will load a slider into a page, and any scripts that are specific to that slider, they're loaded in through the library asset itself. The reason being is that way you can take the slider, plunk it into another page, and you only have to add the asset. You don't have to go and copy over scripts and CSS and a bunch of other stuff like that. So in this particular case, here's an example of the full screen slider where we have 3 other render blocking scripts, and I'll show you in both Expression Web and in Dreamweaver here. But in Expression Web, I'm just going to close everything down here that I had open. We have the library asset for the full screen slider, and it's actually loaded in through the libraries folder here and the sliders folder, and there's our full screen slider. So our index page is the page that we're testing with the Google Page Speed Insights. So this is the page that runs the full screen slider. So if we look into the actual library asset page itself, or the include page, if we open that up, we're going to scroll on down in code view, and here is where we find the script tags that load in the JavaScript files for this particular slider. So basically what we need to do is we need to take anything with a script tag from our library page here, we need to take it out of the include page, and we need to put it into the bottom of the index page, just like we did with the script files for the menu and with the jQuery file itself. Now there's a couple of different ways to do this. I'm lazy. I'm going to show you how I would do it to sort of keep things easy and organized. First thing I do is I make a copy of the full screen slider page just like that. Okay, then I drag that copy up into the same folder where the page I'm copying the code into, in this case where the index page. I'm just going to go and drag and drop it right in there. So now I've got my full screen slider copy, and I've got the index page. So basically what I'm going to do now is open this page up, scroll down to the very bottom. There's my scripts right here. Okay, so I'm going to start by copying these 3 scripts. I'm going to copy these right into the bottom of the index page, because my eventual plan is to remove them from the library page itself. But before I do that, I need to copy them in somewhere. So I'm going to copy them in right down here is a space, but there isn't a region that I can put it in. As you can see in here in Expression Web, there's a we don't have a clean editable region where we can actually paste code into the bottom of the page, so we need to create one. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Then I'll show you in Dreamweaver. Right? But for now, we need to go back to our template DWT. Okay, we've done this before here. Okay, and right down the bottom we have this sort of this blank area right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this begin copyright, paste it here, the end editable, paste it there, and I'm going to change this to bottom scripts. Now we've created a new editable region where we can paste anything we want into this region of any page. Okay, so I'm just going to save to update. Bang, now that has been added to all of our pages. And for our index page, for example, if we go down to the bottom, we now have this bottom scripts area that we can actually paste our script links into. So we'll copy this into here, and we'll go back, and then we'll copy this entire script. And the best way you can probably do this is just right click and do select tag, like so. Copy that right in here to the bottom of our index page, and we can save. Now we're going to upload this back to the server and rerun our test to see if we still have any render blocking JavaScript. But before we do that, we need to go back to our full screen slider page itself, and now we can remove the 3 scripts that we've copied in, as well as this big one at the bottom, like so. We have no more render blocking JavaScript being loaded in directly from the library page. It's now been moved to the bottom, or copied into the bottom of the index page via the full screen slider copy we made. Okay, so I'm just going to hit save right there. Now for you Dreamweaver folks, exact same process, except you're going to be going into your template DWT here and going to the very, very bottom of the page. And same sort of idea. You can start by finding a begin editable, and I use the copyright as an example. Right? You can use any begin editable, so we'll do the begin editable MP3, and we're going to copy that in down here after Bootstrap. As a matter of fact, you can put it right above the closing body tag. Right? Then we just need to find an end editable, which is, there's one right here. We're going to paste that in right here and change this to bottom scripts, just like so. Save. It'll update the template pages that we have. Then we can go into our shared sliders, full screen slider. We can make a copy of this. We can drag this into the root. We can update the links. Then we go in here and we're going to copy these 3 scripts from the copy of the page we made in the root folder, and we're going to put this into the bottom scripts area of our index page, not our template page. Let's just open up the index page here. All right, and we're going to scroll on down. There's our bottom scripts area. We're going to paste the first 3 in, then we're going to grab the next 3 or the next script right here. All right, now if you've got a long script, what you can often do is there's a little arrow there, it closes it right up. You can just do that. Let's see if we can copy that code there. And what happens when we paste it in down here. All right, and then we can expand it and it copies all that script for us nice and tidy. We don't miss anything like an opening or closing tag. Then we would save the index page. So now we have jQuery loading up here. We have Bootstrap, And then we have our full screen slider and all its special script functions loading in after. Okay, now what we'll do is once we've done that is we're going to load our page back up to the server now, and we're going to see how much of an improvement that's made. Okay, so here we are. We're back at our copy of our index page. That's what we're testing, the updated one. And I've just rerun the analysis, and it's made absolutely no difference. Very interesting how page speed insights work. Our mobile score has actually dropped by 2 points, I think. No, that was the way it was before. No, it's dropped by 3 points. It was 45. 54. Eliminate render blocking JavaScript and CSS. Well, we have 12 blocking CSS resources, but we do not have any JavaScript resources. We've solved those. The CSS is still there, so the JS didn't actually affect our overall score whatsoever. So that's an interesting test. But now we need to optimize the delivery of the following. We have all these scripts right here. And that's what we're going to do in our next video.